Chris, man, I want to start diving in here on the show. We've done this a little bit on the site. Like I said, I want to start diving into this schedule a little bit because I do think it's kind of a weird schedule in that don't you feel like we got into a little rhythm over the years if you just expected to see, Tennessee, Florida, Georgia, they're always on the schedule. And then we had to get used to, hey, those teams aren't going to always be on the schedule anymore. And now they're like, hey, they're back. Here they are. You're playing them again. And you're also playing 9 SEC games. And there's no cupcake at the end. You play Georgia at the end. And, oh, by the way, open with Mississippi State. You should beat them, but they're scary. And so it's just, I don't know, because the schedule got put together so late. Miami got the boot. You open with Kent State now. I don't know if we've spent as much time kind of diving into what this schedule truly is, which is why I've started to try to do that on Gamecock Central. And I do think you can kind of split this thing up, man. I don't want to get too deep into the year. We will do that on a later episode. But I've had a chance to dive into really what is like the first third of the season, the first 4 games. And I think you can start to maybe split these up into certain categories. And so right off the bat, you really have 2 games that with Kent State and Towson. Are fans going to be happy at all if you don't just have 2 blowouts? Like I think you really are going to have to put up some points and just handle your business in these 2 games. Now it does allow you a runway, I think. And you look at Kent State. I always think it's a fascinating when you first dive into a school and they're a non-power 4. I mean, I haven't followed Kent State. If you followed Kent State, I haven't followed them at all. Okay, are they any good? Are they good for their level? Are they a scary team? Or are they not a scary team? Kent State, until last year, was basically one of the worst teams in the entire country. Absolutely terrible. Now, they do have a new coach. They made major strides last year. They're trying to take another step forward this year. Still, if this game is within 2 or 3 touchdowns and the fourth quarter begins, you're going to have people pissed off in the stands like you just are. So this is incredibly different than what would have been, Miami, which has, I think, once again, probably on paper, one of the best rosters in the entire country. Even opening with Virginia Tech, who ends up firing their coach last year, playing in an NFL stadium. It's going to be a competitive game, right? You're playing a true Power 4 opponent. This is just different, dude. Like, you want to keep everybody healthy. You want to get some scores early on. You want to rotate a lot, and you want to really start to break in this offense. But from what I've seen from Kent State so far, I'll loop Towson in as well, man. You really just have some goals for those 2 games that go beyond just win the game, right?
Well, and I always think back to last year. You look at the SC State game last year, and that was a game that you won. And if South Carolina had won by 4 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns in that game, you're and just looked a lot better on offense, you're just going, okay, cool. Like, you kind of did what you're supposed to. Well, instead, you play that game if you're South Carolina and you don't look very good. Like, frankly, you struggle. And I know from what my eyes saw, you were a little bit more vanilla offensively, but you should be able to line up against, no disrespect to SC State or any of these other teams. You got to be able to go line up and look better offensively. And I just put my foot in my mouth. I said, win the game. They won 38-10. So they did win by 4 touchdowns. But, you had a punt return touchdown there from Bakari Swain. You just didn't look very good offensively in that game, especially when you've got Lenoris back and you've rebuilt your offensive line and you've got Kendall Briles at the helm and you have a new O-line coach. You just want to go in these first couple weeks not having to start with a Power 4 opponent in Miami who was a college football playoff team last year. And you just want to go out there and be able to run your offense and just dominate an opponent, right? Like, that's what people want to see. Doesn't necessarily mean anything for the long haul of the schedule or even the game 3 against Mississippi State. But I think that's what fans want to see is go put a bunch of yards up, go put a bunch of points up. And you brought this up earlier this week, Wes. frankly, have an opportunity in the second half to go play some young players and keep your guys fresh for the onslaught of a schedule that's going to be coming.
Yeah, so all right, those first two, they follow that trend, that want, that need. Hey, win the game, but win it early, win it handily, get the guys on the field, get the young guys out there. In a perfect world, Cutter Woods plays the fourth quarter, and you're moving on.